You are about to hear the greatest story ever told. The story is found in the most important book in the world, the Bible. You will find your place in its pages, your past and your future, because the Creator of the universe wanted us to know Him. Slowly, over a period of about 1,500 years, God selected various individuals from many places to write His message to us. Today we have what God has chosen to reveal to us in a collection of 66 books called the Bible. The Bible explains that God guided the writers so that they recorded in their own words what He wanted them to say and write. In those sacred writings, God lovingly made two major promises to ensure we could come to know Him. Today, those promises are called the Old Testament and the New Testament, or the Old and New Covenants. Do not be overwhelmed by the length of the story. Slowly, prayerfully, and openly, listen for what He is revealing about people like us and about Himself. He is pursuing us through the people and events of the Bible's story, and He never spoke more clearly than when He sent His Son Jesus. Now, listen to the greatest love story ever told.
Stephen Capaldo, and I'll be reading from Job chapters 13 and 14 for this reading. Behold, my eye has seen all this, my ear has heard and understood it. What you know I also know, I am not inferior to you. But I would speak to the Almighty, and I desire to argue my case with God. So Job is still in the arguing mode. As for you, you whitewash with lies, worthless physicians are you all. And this is his opinion of his friends, that don't give him very useful advice, or supportive advice, or edifying advice. Oh, that you would keep silent, and it would be your wisdom. Hear now my argument, and listen to the pleadings of my lips. Will you speak falsely for God, and speak deceitfully for Him? Will you show partiality toward Him? Will you plead the case for God? Will it be well with you when He searches you out? Or can you deceive Him, as one deceives a man? He will surely rebuke you, if in secret you show partiality. Will not His majesty terrify you, and the dread of Him fall upon you? Your maxims are proverbs of ashes, your defenses are defenses of clay. Let me have silence, and I will speak, and let come on me what may. Why should I take my flesh in my teeth and put my life in my hand? Though He slay me, I will hope in Him, yet I will argue my ways to His face. This will be my salvation, that the godless shall not come before Him. Keep listening to my words, and let my declaration be in your ears. Behold, I have prepared my case. I know that I shall be in the right. Who is there who will contend with me? For then I would be silent and die. So he's still not in a very good place, but he's starting to come out of it. He's starting to come back to a relationship with God. Only grant me two things, then I will not hide myself from your face. Withdraw your hand far from me, and let not dread of you terrify me. Then call, and I will answer, or let me speak, and you reply to me. How many are my iniquities and my sins? Make me know my transgression and my sin. Why do you hide your face and count me as your enemy? Will you frighten a driven leaf and pursue dry chaff? For you write bitter things against me, and make me inherit the iniquities of my youth. You put my feet in the stocks and watch all my paths. You set a limit for the soles of my feet. Man wastes away like a rotten thing, like a garment that is moth-eaten. And Job continues in chapter 14, on death this time. Man who is born of a woman is few of days and full of trouble. He comes out like a flower and withers. He flees like a shadow and continues not. And do you open your eyes on such a one and bring me into judgment with you? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? There is not one. Since his days are determined, the number of his months is with you, and you have appointed his limits that he cannot pass. Look away from him and leave him alone, that he may enjoy like a hired hand his day. So that's the limitations of God versus the limitations of man versus the lack of limitations, the infinite nature of God, the absolute, almighty, infinite nature of God versus the limited natural nature of man. For there is hope for a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its shoots will not cease, though its roots grow old in the earth, and its stump die in the soil. Yet at the scent of water it will bud and put out branches like a young plant. But a man dies and is laid low. Man breathes his last, and where is he? As waters fail from a lake and a river wastes away and dries up, so a man lies down and rises not again. Till the heavens are no more, he will not awake or be roused out of his sleep. It's like you can reference that or cross-reference that with man is a vapor, right? Oh, that you would hide me in Sheol, that you would conceal me until your wrath be past, that you would appoint me a set time and remember me. If a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my service I would wait till my renewal should come. So he's looking forward to living again. You would call, and I would answer you. You would long for the work of your hands, for then you would number my steps. You would not keep watch over my sin. My transgression would be sealed up in a bag, and you would cover over my iniquity. But the mountain falls and crumbles away, and the rock is removed from its place. The waters wear away the stones, the torrents wash away the soil of the earth. So you destroy the hope of man. You prevail forever against him, and he passes. You change his countenance and send him away. His sons come to honor, and he does not know it. They are brought low, and he perceives it not. He feels only the pain of his own body, and he mourns only for himself. So he's recognizing the sovereignty of God, but also the hopelessness of man. So he's still lamenting his fate, and he hasn't completely come around, but at least he's starting to recognize that his friends are not really being that helpful to him, and he's starting at least to have some acknowledgement of God's will and God's role, what God has planned for his life. And so we end there. We did 13 and 14 in Job, so that ends the reading of this segment for this day. Thanks very much for joining us, and talk to you soon. Bye for now.